So I've just come out of the supermarket. There's no fruit and veg. I had a little cry in there. I'm a critical care nurse. I've just finished 48 hours of work. I just wanted to get some stuff in for the next 48 hours. There's no fruit, there's no vegetables. I just don't know how I'm supposed to stay healthy. And nurse people and people who just...
Guys, you can't stay on the green. Can you all go home? Can you all go home, please? It's not a holiday. It's a lockdown, which means you don't just come here and sunbathe. Can you please just leave? The government has a lockdown in force. Can you please get off the green, go home?
Because my uniform's no important. Well, guess what? We're actually looking after the elderly in our community who need shopping, and I'm doing their shopping, and I get turned back because my uniform isn't important. You fucking listen to me. My uniform is more important than fucking some. So you listen, get something done about this. Carers do fucking count. Take my word for it. This is not the end of this. I'm absolutely shocked at what's actually happened today. Do not wish her in to get bread for an elderly woman who can't come out the house because she has to self-isolate, and I can't get her bread because my uniform doesn't count.
We have the right to protest under the Constitution. Now, as a very, very young man, I protested against the Vietnam War. This is the biggest mass demonstrations in this country since Vietnam War. So we have the right to protest. I protested when I was a young man. I never thought I'd have to come out and protest again. Political? No, it's about freedom. It's about freedom. I cannot work because of the governor's edict. I sell in a big giant flea market, Rose Bowl, Long Beach Antique Shows. These have been there for 35 years. Hundreds of people come, they buy from me. This is about protecting against the shutdown. I didn't vote for either one of those candidates.
Newsom has overstepped the U.S. Constitution, my right to assemble, my right to gather, my right to access the beach, my right to worship as I freely choose at my church. He's shut down so-called unessential businesses and left weed shops open and abortion clinics open, and I have friends and family losing their businesses. Wages are being cut, people are getting laid off and furloughed, and he wants to get more power. And I will not give up my freedom to a dictator. You have to look at the facts over fear. 44 people in a county of 3.1 million, you do the math. I'm sad they died. We don't want to lose one person. Fear takes away your freedom. I will not ask for permission for what is my freedom.
If you're an American citizen, then be proud of your country. If you don't like this country and you're an anchor baby milking the system, you can go back to wherever you came from.
I'm not a nurse or a doctor. And you see people just getting wheeled in. I just wanted to get out of that place. My throat was swollen. I still had a feeding tube in my nose, 10 tubes coming out of my neck through like the main injection there. I've seen things, even in my last ward, there was a guy diagonally opposite me. I saw him take his last breaths, so it has affected me mentally. And that's what really annoys me when I see people out and about, just not. I was like, really thought. So I called my brother and gave him a password, told him where my will was. I was clearly alive, but I had a 15-inch, hose pipe in my mouth. I couldn't, talk. Intensive care is not a fun place, to be. You see people die, It's absolutely horrible. I sell software for a living, right? I'm not a nurse or a doctor. And you see people just getting wheeled out, wheeled in.
I just feel like my dad was pushed to the back of the line, was getting the test because he was black. Like, he went to basically a hospital in an all-white neighborhood. Like, they just looked at him and pushed him out the door to go home and die. Whoever was in control of my dad when he went to the hospital, I feel like should be the person that's to blame for his death. Because they didn't look at him enough to tell him that, or to give him a chance to get a test. Like, and then the government as well, why weren't we prepared for this virus? If you guys are shutting cities and states down and the economy down, why don't we have enough tests to get people tested for the virus? If it's that big of a problem, why are people being pushed home to die and told to come back to the hospital if you need help? Like, it's too late at that point. So I blame the government and the whole healthcare system. Really, they failed the American citizens.
It was the week before had been eerie. We'd done a lot of reorganising of the hospital. We'd managed to move patients out of any areas, send anyone home that could go home, and we'd pretty much cleared the ITU ready for COVID patients. Our pre-existing patients we moved to another area, so we had an empty intensive care unit essentially ready to take any incomers, and we knew they were coming, but there was a terrible feeling of dread and anticipation because we knew it was coming, but it was a question of when. And at that stage we knew a lot of the theory behind COVID. And at that stage we knew a lot of the theory behind COVID, and we knew how the patients had been managed in other hospitals, but until you actually manage a patient for yourself, you need to get a feel for the illness and a feel for the disease and how patients react to that. And that's one thing we've learned a lot from the last 70 patients that we've had in, is we're getting, I wouldn't say we're there, but we're definitely getting closer to understanding the best way to managing these patients. And it's quite different in some ways than managing a patient with something like ARDS or severe respiratory failure that we're very used to looking at.
And me, my dad, my brother and my sister and all their family have to just sit at home while she struggles in hospital on her own. And you can't go near her, you can't cuddle her, can't take her anything. And you're praying every day that she's going to come out, that she's going to be all right, everything's going to be okay. That was Monday. Now it's Thursday, and she's gone.
It's only me that he has in the end, and I have, I can't hug him, I can't kiss his head, I can't touch his hand, because I got gloves. I was still holding his hand, and he just flatlined, and he was gone like that.
Please don't come close to me.
I'm taking pictures and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Would you please stop? Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And
me.
I'm taking pictures and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Excuse me? I'm sorry, I'm in the Ramble, and there is a man, African American, he has a bicycle helmet. He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African American man, I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. And my... I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the Ramble. Please send the cops immediately. I'm in Central Park in the Ramble. I don't know.
Thank you.
Why can't you be fired?
If it was such good advice, why did you advise the rest of the country to do different?
You are unbelievable!
Shame! Shame!
George?
Mr. Cummings, were you telling the truth yesterday? You think the public will believe you? You think the public will believe you?
Social distancing.
Social distancing, guys. Mind the car, please. Just keep your 2 metres. Keep moving 2 metres, guys. You're on the way, please. Keep moving. Thank you very much. Keep the 2 metres.
Good morning, Mr. Cummings.
Did you go to Barnard Castle, Mr. Cummings?
Did you go on a family jolly to the castle when ordinary people were obeying the rules and staying home, Mr. Cummings?
Did you go to Barnard Castle, Mr. Cummings?
Out the way.
You confirm that.
Did you go back to Durham's Club third?
Out the way.
Mr. Cummings, when ordinary people were obeying the rules and
How much damage do you think you've done to the government, Mr. Cummings?
Just look round. Lovely. Government advice was more important than ordinary people.
Look.